tisini na tisa zizini, mchungaji mwema acha kondoo kutafuta mmoja jangwani, aliyepotea pale malishoni. Yeye anapitia hali zote, jua kali, mchana, usiku baridi. Uko njiani miiba mikali, wanyama wakali anawakabili. Yeye anavumilia. Amani kuu, tisini na tisa zizini, mchungaji mwema acha kondoo kutafuta mmoja jangwani, aliyepotea pale malishoni. Yeye anapitia hali zote, jua kali, mchana, usiku baridi. Uko njiani miiba mikali, wanyama wakali anawakabili. Yeye anavumilia. Ni wa thamani kuu. Kumbe jinsi Mungu aliupenda ulimwengu, katoa mwanawe pekee, ili amwamini asipotee, bali awe na uzima wa milele. Wa milele. Mungu ni pendo, yeye apenda wote. Kwa maana jinsi Mungu aliupenda ulimwengu, katoa mwanawe pekee, ili amwamini asipotee, bali awe na uzima wa milele. Wa milele. Mungu ni pendo, yeye apenda wote. Mchunga mwishowe umwona, mabegani umweka yule kondoo, akifurahi humrudisha zizini kwa wale tisini na tisa. Yeye rafiki zake na jirani, nyumbani huwaita kuwaambia, na tufurahi pamoja kwa kuwa nimeshampata kondoo mmoja, yeye aliyepotea. Ni wa thamani kuu. Mchunga mwishowe umwona, mabegani umweka yule kondoo, akifurahi humrudisha zizini kwa wale tisini na tisa. Yeye rafiki zake na jirani, nyumbani huwaita kuwaambia, na tufurahi pamoja kwa kuwa nimeshampata kondoo mmoja, yeye aliyepotea. Ni wa thamani kuu. Kwa maana jinsi Mungu aliupenda ulimwengu, katoa mwanawe pekee, ili amwamini asipotee, bali awe na uzima wa milele. Wa milele. Mungu ni pendo, yeye apenda wote. Kwa maana jinsi Mungu aliupenda ulimwengu, katoa mwanawe pekee, ili amwamini asipotee, bali awe na uzima wa milele. Wa milele. Mungu ni pendo, yeye apenda wote. Furaha mbinguni, mmoja tu akirejea nyumbani, na Mungu mwenyewe anda karamu, ni furaha wote washangilia. Furaha mbinguni, mmoja tu akirejea nyumbani, na Mungu mwenyewe anda karamu, ni furaha wote washangilia. Furaha mbinguni, mmoja tu akirejea nyumbani, na Mungu mwenyewe anda karamu, ni furaha wote washangilia. Furaha mbinguni, mmoja tu akirejea nyumbani, na Mungu mwenyewe anda karamu, ni furaha wote washangilia. Mungu apenda wote.
All right. right, welcome back to Sunday Best on KTN Home. Thank you very much for making time to be with us this beautiful Sunday morning. Now, you know, we are getting beautiful music from, of course, our choir, which is with us, Berean Gospel Ministers, and I believe that that is a blessing to you. My name is Anthony Ndema. Of course, tuko na Charity. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
It's amazing to be here, and like we had mentioned earlier, you know, we are living in very interesting times.
Yes.
And seasons. And so these are the days we ask ourselves, what are the foundations that we have, you know, been able to establish for ourselves, for our children?
Yeah.
And can those foundations hold when the storms come?
Yeah.
We saw what happened the other day, and I mean, may the soul rest in peace, in Turkey, in Syria, when the earthquake came. And we lost so many lives.
Yeah.
And that's purely an issue of foundations, you know. So what happens when the foundations are shaken?
Yeah.
What will the Russians do?
You're reminding me of that scripture. I was about to quote it, but then you
Yes.
brought it on board.
That's right.
What can the Russians do? And interestingly, today we have a man of God who is going to, like, of course, expound more on that and some of the foundational. There are so many foundations in them, I think, even in our 21st century.
Right.
I think times have changed so much, but as they always say, ukishaeka foundation ya kwenye mwamba imara, the rock,
Yes.
then the difference is ulijenga yako wapi.
That's true.
Is it on the sandy grounds or the rocks?
That's right.
So kama iko kwa rock, then it will stand. But
That's right.
Yeah.
Karibu sana mchungaji, it's good to have
Thank
you. Thank you for making time to be with us again.
Thank you.
One of the things I'll be very interested to understand, you know, right now we have the LGBTQI+.
Naona
Inaendelea ikienda
umezikwenda
tu.
zinaongezeka.
Let me tell you, tutaendelea tushangaa ilijaza note exercise book imeanza page second line.
Absolutely.
So those are again issues of foundation.
It's true. It's true. Interestingly, times tumefika mahali. We were discussing with, of course, a couple of people the other day, saying, siku hizi kuna watu wataki kuitwa he or she. Nasema, I am them. We are they. Uko, what is happening in our society?
That's right. Mchungaji, karibu.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I will give you an opportunity just to tell us a bit more about yourself, the church. Na utukaribishe pia kanisani na
Sure. I'm Pastor Joshua Wambua, currently ministering as the senior pastor at AIC Baraka.
That's right.
AIC Baraka is in Mulolongo Phase 3. We're in between Syokimau and Sabaki. That's where we are. We are serving the Lord there by the grace of God. And we thank God. We welcome everyone to AIC Baraka. It's a family church.
Lovely.
Where everyone is someone.
I love it.
Yeah.
Everyone is someone.
Sure.
Foundations. And
Sure.
even before we get to the foundations, this is a time where we have very unique challenges.
Sure.
One of them I just mentioned was
Sure.
the issue of sexual orientation.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges, especially you as a man of God, you have seen both in church and out of church that we are facing in this season and time?
You know, in this generation, the 21st century generation, the challenges that we are going through are so diverse, and there are challenges that are evolving from day to day. The challenges that we were facing 3 years, 5 years ago are not the challenges that we are facing today. And things are, moving very fast. So you find that there are challenges, as the new challenges come, we need to look for new ways of, solving them and facing them. Because the challenges that our parents were facing are not the challenges that we are facing today. They are evolving. So, and more so as the church. Let me speak as the voice of the church.
That's right.
Amidst the challenges and the changes, the church must and should take its stand, and give light and direction. Because the church should be, as the word says, when those foundations are shaking, as the church, where are we when they are changing? When the cultures and, especially when we talk of the issue of cultural foundational changes of issues as a church, what is our stand? You know, does it mean because, you know, things are changing, you know, we need to change with them? Or, you know, do we have our stand as church? There are some that we, you know, we may accept. But there are some that as a church we need to, you know, have our stand and say, you know, categorically, this one, no, this one, no. And have a voice in it. Yeah.
It's interesting that you've said about the church having a stand. And in the past we've seen the church being blamed.
Sure.
The church did not speak on this issue.
Yeah.
The church was mum on this issue, and so on and so forth. But let's just think about some of the issues that we face today. And I'm glad that the church has come out very strongly on the LGBTQ I plus issue and spoken very loudly and all religious. So we actually agree, even culturally, that this is not for us.
Sure.
Yeah. Charity.
Yes.
I mean, look at some of the other things that we are facing today. Very unique challenges.
Yeah.
And probably as a lady, some of these have really been able to touch on spaces that you belong in before even Pastor digs deeper into now the specific cultural changes as well. What are some of those things for you?
I mean, I would generally say like times have changed. Like it's not like before. Even as you find Kitambo, as the man of God is saying, we never had the issues of LGBTQ and stuff like that. You would find during our parents' time, those were things that would never even be discussed or would never even come on the table. And it's not just that. There are many others that are facing, and not just the young generation, but you find even watu wenye wame Koma. It's not a young people thing.
Right.
It is even in the older generation where you find there are things that if they were established at the grassroots, then hazifai kuwa zina to affect. Right now, as even as a church, as a whole, and when I say a church, I mean the entire body of Christ in the nation.
Yeah.
So, but even for me, maybe what I would want maybe to ask is some of these foundational challenges, where would we say we have gone, the church has gone? I mean, like, is it because of the silence? Because most of the times you find kuna wakati church pia imenyamaza some of these things. And they say silence sometimes can mean uja declare your stand, you are actually supporting, you are actually supporting it if you go quiet. But other than this, there are many other things that even the church has actually gone silent on. And would that be the reason why we've gotten to where we are today?
Just to mention, one, it's very important to note about the voice of the church in some of these issues. You know, one, it depends with the position of the church in the nation. You know, is the church recognized? You know, does the church have a voice? Because if, you know, of course, in governance, we have the state and we have the church. And these two run together. But there are certain issues and aspects that we can never separate. They have to go hand in hand. I do not want to categorically stand and say at all times the church has been there. You find that there are certain times you find, you know, the church is there, but their voice is maybe is not being heard. You know, they are not speaking. But I want to say this with authority, that even at times when there are issues and challenges that are facing, you know, the people of God and the nations, that even though certain key leaders may fail to address these issues, failing to address them does not give authority or does not make certain things to be right if they are wrong. And at our levels, each and every one of us, at our level, we need to know what is right, what is wrong, and make our stand and make our declaration. As you've just said, I think now the church is coming out very clearly from all dimensions, and they are addressing this issue. They are speaking up, because possibly, if I may say, maybe the church have seen that if we do not come up, this thing may become a real serious burden, and it may come a time when it may be an accepted norm all over and everywhere.
Let's come back to the foundations, because that's our engagement today. Looking at the challenges that we are facing today, what would you say are the foundational issues that we've had, even as a church and a nation, that need to be addressed?
Faulty. The foundations are faulty.
Faulty foundations.
Faulty foundations.
All right.
There is definitely something that should be done that is not being done right.
All right.
That's where we are facing the problem. You know, a child who is 5 years old, there are certain things that at that age you begin to teach them. And when they grow and, you know, they are old, it is going to be so hard for that child to remove them from. That's what does the Bible say? Teach a child
in the way
he should go.
Right.
And when he grows up,
they will never forget.
So if we do not do what should be done when these children are young, I tell you, we are going to do a lot of work.
That's right.
We are going to have a lot of work to correct the foundations that we did not check.
They usually say that, think of a small child who's 2-year-old. They call it terrible too. I refuse. When a child is 2 years old and they throw a tantrum, so escalate that tantrum 15 years later.
Yes.
How does it look like?
It becomes
a monster.
Yeah.
It's a tantrum that will take guns and you know do what they need to do. Yeah. I like that.
In that direction, there is also another very serious sense of fault. That I have initially, and the culture, children culturally did not belong to one
parent. Or rather,
when we were growing up, we belonged to the village. We belonged to everyone. If someone finds you somewhere doing something wrong, you are punished there, and you will not go to tell your parents. Because,
na mama yako, unafunzwa na ulimwengu.
But now, we are having a very serious problem. I believe it's a faulty issue that needs to be checked. Everyone for himself.
True.
Your children, your family, yourself.
Yes.
I mean, paint a picture of what happens in the urban areas where we have the concrete jungle.
Yes.
I do not know my neighbor. Tomorrow, if I find my child having been disciplined by my neighbor, it is a police case.
It is a police case. Nowadays, things have changed. It's not like Kitambo, as he's saying. Today, even we are telling the schools, you should not discipline my child. There are ways of disciplining, and they're not accepting that discipline to be done in schools. So things, and zinaanzia kwa hiyo age when they are young. So I think those are some of the things. I don't know.
I love it. So those are two fault lines. One, you say of course, the way we raise our children. Communal,
that's
discipline and responsibility that we get to instill in them. I like the cultural things that we were doing that now have become fault lines even in our foundations today. Share more. Wewe unakaa wa kizazi changu, hawa ni wa generation tofauti.
So I think on that dimension we need to check a lot. The other issue, which is also connecting with that of, everyone having themselves and for their life and their, family, there's another very, key thing that we must check. When your child now is alone in the house, because they are not allowed to mingle and interact with the others, what are they doing? Who are they with? What is happening in the house? They are in the phone. They are in the screen. So that brings another very sensitive aspect that I have seen is a key thing that we must check. Exposure.
Right.
We are exposing our children at a very tender age, at a very young age. You find that a child is 4 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
they know how to operate the phone.
That's
More than-
hata hiyo
more
5
than-
years ni late
Yeah,
sana.
yeah, more than you do.
Yeah.
Even the, 1 year, 2 years, if they begin to cry, the phone, they are off. So what is it that we are doing to this?
Exposing.
We are exposing them
Right.
to very, information that should not be exposed at that
that
time.
age.
Right.
So if we are not careful to check on that, then it may also bring, many problems and challenges. As much as in the digital, world,
Era.
and is important, and we also look at it positively. There also should be some, limits.
That's right.
Factors that we need to maybe check.
That's
'Cause
right.
I'm wondering, because now we are in a time where we cannot go back,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
The technology is here, digital is here, TikTok ndio hiyo, only
Yes.
the young people. In fact, if we
Yes.
find a 35-year-old,
Yeah.
40-year-old on TikTok doing challenges,
Yeah.
tuko, jamani, this is not your space.
Midlife crisis.
A midlife crisis. So we have these children and these young people who should be guided at a young age, and we cannot take the times back. We are already there. What can be done, Sahindiema? What, especially for you, are a parent, of course. Watoto wako wakilia wanaekewa kokomelo, then the next minute unapata wameweka another station watching at their own things. So
Sasa sisi ni wale wazazi wa tutaifanya mpaka ingie line. By the way, I personally believe on the concept of the road. Personally believe in it. I think it works.
Okay.
I've seen it work for some parents I know.
Yes.
Spare the road,
Spoil
the child. And scientifically they say a child's mind is tabula rasa. Yani, it's plain. It's actually very plain. So what you input into that is what they get.
Sure.
We say what you feed grows, what you starve dies. So every time you keep feeding this child with
Yeah.
things that will erode
yeah.
their mind, that's what they keep soaking in, and they keep building it, and it keeps growing in them day after day. And I believe, Mchungaji,
Yeah.
that one of my friends said, the children have a way of finding what to do, things to do,
Yeah.
Sure.
and creativity. If you put children in a room that is blank, they will
Yeah.
find
What after?
Yeah,
They will find
something
things
to
to
do.
do.
Find them
You will
busy.
find them busy.
yes.
Yeah.
But if you believe that they have to have a phone for them to keep themselves busy,
Yeah.
and children are so manipulative, oh my goodness, they are born sinners. So at 1 year old, a child will manipulate you.
Yeah.
And they if they win, they keep getting better wins.
Yeah.
And more wins.
Yeah.
And more wins.
Yeah.
For us, we've taken a very interesting direction. We've said every child has a 1 hour slot
Okay.
of screen time. Screen time is TV, this, and that's per day. So each one knows, huyu anajua yangu ni ya 5 to 6,
Yeah.
huyu anajua ni ya 6 to 7. Now on school days hata hakuna.
Yeah.
So on weekends they know, and they agree, me, my 1 hour I'll do this. If you guys want to join me, join me.
Yeah.
And I think it's working. Then you can monitor exactly what they're
Because
checking
now
out.
even devices have a way of monitoring.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also on that, also involving them.
Right, exactly.
Let's
Making
not
those
face-
decisions.
Yeah, making that so that they can, take it as we agreed this. This is not dad saying. This is not
Right.
mom saying.
Yeah.
Is our and on that there is another issue that is raising on the issue of parents and parenting, especially in our century. We are busy.
That's a foundational, that's a fault line
Yeah.
on the foundation.
Very busy.
Yeah.
The mother is-
Unatafuta nini?
The mother, and someone said, and I really agree with that person, if you're too busy looking for money, you're too busy and you are absent from your children, look for a lot of money. You will need that money to take your children
to rehabilitation
for
center.
rehabilitation
Yeah.
and counseling and all that.
That's very
so
sad.
before we go to that, out of our busy schedules, we are busy. We are busy. I can tell you we are busy.
It's true.
Saying that, there are times I check my schedule and you find that in a week, daily. And, you know, those children need time. So
Right.
as parents, we need to, out of those busy schedules,
Yeah.
sacrifice our time, be with our children.
Quantity and quality.
Don't allow your child to be taught
Yeah.
by someone. Be the first person.
They reach out to.
them.
Yeah.
All right.
That's amazing.
I like that, and I like that we are talking about the children
Yeah.
more than anything else, because when you get it right there,
Yeah.
you get it right on the other level.
Sure.
Mchungaji, just as we bring this to a conclusion,
Yeah.
so once we realize that we have fault lines
Yeah.
on those particular foundations, and those are challenges that we face in this generation, how do we now find room to make it right, even in situations where we think we've lost it entirely?
Yeah. One, on the foundation, please, let's begin at a tender age, especially for our children.
Okay.
Let's not wait. There's an aspect that I would feel bad if we go off without just mentioning it.
All right.
We've worked so much on the girl child.
Ako empowered
Girl
sana.
Sana.
And you forget that this empowered girl child needs an empowered boy child. So
Yeah.
we've ignored them. So that is a line that we need to check very much. It's a 40. I do not want to say it's a 40.
Right.
When it began, there were real challenges
Yeah.
with the girl child. But now we need to work
On the boy child as
so that
well.
we can come at a
At a balance.
And lastly, which we can never ignore, let God be the sender.
Come on.
We can never ignore. Children are blessings from God. Allow God to be in the center. You can never tell your child about a God you do not know.
I like it. I love it. I love it.
Let God be the center.
Yeah.
You can never tell a child about a God that you do not know.
That's right.
Amazing. I love that interesting fact that it has to start from the grassroots, because then after that we'll not struggle with the other level when they're already grown. Thank you so much for coming today. You've been a blessing to us. And of course, we continue enjoying good music
That's
from
right.
Berean Gospel Ministry. So don't go too far. We'll be right back.